You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show.
Hello everyone and welcome to another NXT After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Kathy Kelly. It is almost the 4th of July. We are less than, 6 hours away at this point?
From our place,
From Pacific time.
Oh yeah, from the West Coast.
Getting close. Across the table from me, joining me as always, True Hobo.
But conspicuous by its absence, the Pixel Pro Wrestling Championship is not joining us today.
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Damn it, Rosenberg.
There's a lot to talk
no.
about. The hoboism, the most patriotic of jobs, seemingly in this current economy.
What did he do? Being
Rosenberg?
What?
Rosenberg?
Yeah,
he took it.
I want to hear.
He took it.
He took it.
He came in and, took it. Stole it.
Mm-hmm.
There's video evidence.
Wow.
Soapbox Car TV.
We'll get to the plug part later.
Okay.
I can plug it now and get it out of the way.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We did it.
Sit
I can
next
plug the
to
shirts more.
Yeah.
Sit next to True
ProWrestlingTees.com/show.
Hobo. Sit next to True Hobo. Who
Jeez.
talks too much is Mark Donica.
Wait, I talk too much.
No,
or
he talks too
Okay,
much.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, I do
I'm
too.
just
but
doing
either way.
what any good Michael Cole would do.
Now you're taking my job. He took her job.
I think Mark's a better Michael Cole than you are.
Why?
I don't know. I wouldn't want to sell the WWE network.
You're right.
today.
I'm more liked than he is, but that's okay.
So we did have some streaming issues, not the WWE Network's fault, but ours. So
But also
it took us a little bit longer to watch tonight, and I apologize if we skip some things.
I don't think
our
we
feed
will.
was
I
kind
think
of
we're
jumping
Yeah, it
around
jumped back
a
and
little
forth.
bit.
It was a little weird.
We're a little bit bummed, but we will still put on a great after show.
It was hard maintaining concentration.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first match of the night, Big Cass comes out, accompanied by Enzo Amore. It's been so apparent the last 2 weeks, Enzo's absence, just because he comes back and he has this crazy energy about him. But he comes to the ring, says his normal stuff about Cass being 7 feet tall, SAWFT soft.
Can't teach that.
Everybody knows the words.
Yes.
Everybody in that arena singing along with him.
They were
it's like
all
a sing-along.
standing and excited for this. The Legionnaires then make their entrance. LaForte and Marcus Louis, and LaForte gets on the mic and says that New Jersey is basically human garbage.
Yeah.
And we get the match.
I'm sure they would agree they're from Queens.
Yeah, that's the even funnier thing is they're
Yes.
making fun of them from being from Jersey and they're not.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Enzo's reappearance and return has shown how much, not necessarily how much we missed him, but because Big Cass always has such a big presence, excuse the pun, and we all loved all of the work that he did while Enzo was hurt. But then, so it was up to this pinnacle, and then when Enzo came back, it's pushed even further, and there's nothing but good stuff for these guys looking up. It's
quite amazing. I mean, like you said though, Cass has a presence, and it's true that not all big men have big characters or personality. It's very true, but Cass certainly does. As does Enzo, so it sort of creates this tornado effect. These two guys on the mic are unstoppable. They talk to one another in code, basically, as you just try to follow along. It's great to watch. You just try and keep up with them.
Yeah, true. So we get the match. It starts, and LaForte versus Big Cass.
Starts and finishes in about
LaForte
the same
starts,
minute.
yeah, punching Cass. 30-second match at most. I don't even think it made that point. But it ends with the big elbow from Big Cass on LaForte, and Cass gets the win.
Still hoping we get to see a good match out of LaForte. Like, he's like, okay, he's got a tag team partner. We're going to see some real matches out of him. We actually saw some decent offense. It doesn't work when there's like a 2-foot difference between you and your opponent, but it's still like an aggression as opposed to like, please don't hurt me, like sort of thing that we've seen in the past. So
right. LaForte looked strong. Granted there was a size difference, but that doesn't always necessarily matter. You saw English and Cass go at it, and English managed to get the upper hand because he used his brain. But the one thing that I think was apparent by this is there's not going to be a feud.
Really?
This is it.
That was the last one?
I'm almost certain, because even commentary went, well, that must be a message that Enzo and Cass are sending to the rest of the tag team division. So I'm going to imagine this is over, because it was a squash.
Okay.
Complete crushing.
Yeah.
But this was the first match of the return.
You're telling me.
Didn't we recently hear also that Marcus Louis got injured?
He did, but it was after the taping. It was at a
Okay.
live event after this taping.
Okay.
This one happened like a week after these past 4 weeks. So they had a bunch in the bag, like
Okay.
within a week or so.
Well, we shall see.
Yeah, we'll see
shall.
what happens next week.
Backstage, Devin Taylor. We haven't had some backstage segments in the last couple of weeks, but
Yeah.
this week we did get some.
Just started.
Yes. Devin interviews Neville, and she asks what it was like facing RVD last week and getting the win over him. Breeze then interrupts, and he says he's surprised Neville could even focus during the match with the gorgeous one sitting on commentary.
It's a fair assessment.
Mark couldn't even focus. So.
No, I was just
Neither
like,
of you could, you googly-eyed girls. I was concentrating on the match. You guys were just listening as intently as
sorry.
all
I was,
possible.
I was
Mark.
thinking of last week. I was
Yeah.
thinking of last week.
Okay.
Jeez.
We're doing a show. So
I'm here.
Neville challenges Tyler Breeze to a match tonight. Breeze then says he can't because he had a career-threatening injury in a tragic hand modeling accident.
And then he gave him the finger.
Shows his finger.
The pinky.
Oh,
That
it
was a
I thought it was,
player.
yeah.
Was it this
It
one?
was this
I
one.
thought it was,
Was it this
the
one?
ring finger.
This one.
Oh,
It
no,
was-
it was the left.
No,
It was
yes.
one of the
It was
fingers.
the left
too damn
index
hard
finger.
to bring this
It was
up.
the left.
It was
It was the
this
left index finger.
One
Yeah.
of the fingers. So
Lucky for you, you get to live another day. God, he's good.
I think he's
So
going
funny.
to live every day. Yes.
Oh man, they just keep making Breeze better, or Breeze keeps making himself better.
yeah.
Somebody.
Credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Pretty
We don't know
great.
where to put it, though. Well, somebody's got to know.
Just leave it.
It ain't us.
So we will see them battle at some point.
At some point, yeah.
At some point. But up next, Charlotte and Sasha.
But
two-thirds-
before that, Bull Dempsey package.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a recap of his match, essentially. but
His
in a-
debut, for crying out loud.
Yes.
They must like this guy.
trying to make
They
sure that we
really
remember
do.
him.
They definitely do.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
one match and he gets a package. That's almost mojo rallying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't forgotten him since it's only been a week.
Right.
Since his debut, but yeah.
no,
they're
excited to
definitely
see where he
pushing him.
goes.
They obviously like him, and they're gonna push him into something.
Yes. So, 2/3 of the BFFs, Charlotte and Sasha versus Bailey and Becky Lynch. What'd you guys think of this?
No jigging. There was no Irish step dancing throughout the match, so that alone.
None at all. Like completely absent, completely gone.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause It was.
I mean, ourselves, everyone at this table, the majority of people on Twitter, save for a couple people, hated the dancing. The dancing must end.
It was
the
so
dancing
excessive.
ended tonight.
It was ridiculously excessive, but it was. I mean, this was the longest match of the night.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think, was the main event
No.
a little bit longer?
Main event had to be longer.
Yeah.
They both ran 2 segments.
I think this just felt longer because of our connection.
Oh, probably. Yeah. This was technically the longest match of the night.
For
but,
us, because it
For
wouldn't
us.
continue.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, it was a good match. It told a really good story.
Yeah. Charlotte and Sasha ended up getting the win, but post-match, Sasha kind of starts yelling at the other girls, and Bailey gets really aggressive and attacks Sasha.
Just throws her out.
Yeah.
Doesn't really beat her down or
But-
anything. Just like, get away from my friend.
Not really like Bailey.
Everybody's got a mean side to them. A person, when pushed far enough, will be aggressive.
Will crack.
And honestly, these BFFs, all they do is just poke you and prod you until you snap. Bailey did just that.
Yeah, I think it was totally called for.
Yeah.
She didn't do anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
It wasn't overly aggressive. It was just sort of appropriately aggressive. You could get behind her and go, finally, she did something about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it seems like they really are just continuing to tell that story about how Charlotte is a born and bred wrestler.
A thoroughbred.
And exactly. And they keep on talking about her power and how she was, you know, just built to do this. And it's really creating tension between her and Sasha. So.
Yeah, especially with, I mean, we'll get there, but especially
Later in
with
the
the
night,
little chat that they had backstage.
Yes.
But there was some weirdness in the match. There was a segment in the corner where Bailey tagged in to Becky, and as Bailey was trying to get out of the ring, Charlotte attacked, and then Becky attacked Charlotte, and then Becky tagged Bailey back in, and then they did like a double suplex. It was weird. The pacing was a little bit off. I think it might have just been
Although I don't necessarily count that as being a negative. To me, that looks more like a fight.
yeah.
You know,
it was a bit of a scrap.
Because honestly, there was some of that in that match. There was some not foul ups, just little changes in the pace, little changes that really, to me, say that this is a fight.
Yeah.
This is not pre-scripted as far as people really can tell, because of things can change in a moment's notice. Obviously, Becky came back in. Charlotte was starting to fire up. Becky started to take her back down, hit Bailey, and said, let's put some real damage on her because she's obviously not going down. They did just that.
All right, looks good.
Yeah.
And I also still don't like the bow down to the queen, because it's so specific to set up. Like the drop kick for the setup tonight was also a little weird.
It was too high.
Yeah, it was like she was at a high angle, but like down to the stomach as opposed to the face, because the face drop kick would knock you all the way down. But if you drop kick to the, it looked like she jumped a little bit too high,
Like a
And it was like,
bicycle
"Up,
kick.
up."
A bicycle
really
kick
weird.
would work better, I think.
Yeah.
Because the drop kick, like you said, jumped far too high. If she just bicycled it, popped that knee down, the opponent would have no option but to go to their knees. And you know what I noticed during this match is Bailey and Becky had very similar offense. They actually did function
They
like
worked together as a team.
They looked like a tag team.
You were saying.
No, it was him. He was saying that
Divas
maybe
tag
we should get a
team.
Divas tag team
That
division.
was
Probably-
kind of
that was more of a joke,
It was more of a
It was
joke.
a joke at the time, but honestly, the more the
work
match
well
went on,
together.
the more I went, that looks like it might be
Well,
a
because
thing.
because also on the main roster they were trying to, like, they put before she was released, they put Oksana and Alicia Fox together, and then the Bellas were together, and they were just kind of coupling up and pairing up all of these divas. So it seemed like there might have been like, let's see what we can do with this at the time being, and if
Yeah.
it doesn't work out, then we won't do it. And either way, there should be more of a focus on tag team wrestling when there is, even if you're not a tag team, there should be like, okay, we need to be on the same page on this.
Yeah.
Unless there's like a specific
Tiff
like
going.
story reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we saw a team tonight work together particularly well, and I know they've got an excess of females down there in the Performance Center. Could that be a thing that they're starting from their testing level, a Divas tag team division?
Yeah.
Is it possible?
Maybe.
Guess time will tell.
Yeah. We'll see.
Interesting.
All of those girls are in ridiculous shape, and you know who also is in great shape? Our boss, Maria Menounos. She has a brand new book out that is on the New York Times bestsellers list, her second book on the New York Times bestsellers list. It's called The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness. Has amazing recipes in here that'll kickstart your diet and just great fitness tips. I cannot speak highly enough of this book. Mark, I know your dad actually.
Yeah.
We've talked about this pretty much every single week.
Every time we
but-
talk about the book, but it's true. My dad just he's been recovering from heart surgery, pretty severe heart surgery, and so we had to shake up his diet, and a lot of the stuff in here is we use and
Yeah.
He
we
looks
cook it
like
up
he's
for him.
lost a bit of weight.
Yeah, he has, and it
Yeah.
wasn't just the bad hospital food. It's been like the good stuff.
It's really about a lifestyle change, and you feel happier, you feel healthier, so all
More
around.
energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great tips, though. Pick up this book. You can find it on Amazon or at any bookstore, so we recommend it.
100%.
Yes. Backstage, Devin Taylor, again, she interviews Justin Gabriel this time, and Gabriel says that he respects Sami Zayn. He's looking forward to their match tonight because Zayn reminds him of a younger version of himself. Do you guys agree with that?
I don't know how much younger
Zayn
is
right. I don't know
Gabriel.
the age differences, or necessarily, for that matter, the experience difference. I mean, there is such a thing as an in-ring age.
Yeah, definitely. But, I mean, Zayn's been at it for quite some time.
If you listen to Regal, Gabriel's been doing this basically his entire life, is the point they were trying to sell us this evening.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, is this when? This is when our connection got a little bit. Kid comes in and kind of throws everything off.
Well, I mean, I think he makes a valid point.
Yeah.
The older lions gotta watch their back. These kids are coming up, and the established guys need to protect their spots. That's what Kid tries to make to Justin Gabriel, and it is a legitimate feeling backstage.
It feels like, I mean, we've been talking about how this is the reality era, and Kid has almost no main roster time right now. And so what he was talking about is very truthful. You know, you're on the main roster, you feel like you're the top of the world, you're invincible, and then the calls get less and less and less.
And instead of traveling with TV every week, you're down in Florida every couple of weeks, you know. And it's very real.
And it's about momentum. You lose to the younger guys, you're not used as often. These younger guys kill your momentum. So what Kid tries to sell Gabriel is the idea of you got to win tonight by any means possible. It's your livelihood. It's either this or your family doesn't eat, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
That's it. And Gabriel
agrees with him.
Well, he's receptive to the idea, but he's not necessarily 100% into win by any means possible.
Tyson Kidd's kind of an instigator, though.
He is,
Very much so.
He's chock full of a lot of useful information due to his experience. He's been through a lot. It's great to see him back, and it's been great to see him back in all of these sort of high-profile NXT matches. I do really like how he stuck to the fact stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's a know-it-alls are annoying.
Oh yeah, that's a nice little thing to get mad at.
And it's something to get the crowd in on as well. Like, they're mad at him, but they'll chant
Right.
fact with him. He, especially with the interview later in the night, he's in a special place. That Tyson Kidd.
He may have hit some sort of stride here.
Yeah, no, he might in his losses discovered the type of talent that he has to be to survive.
Right. And it's actually sort of, it's interesting seeing his dynamic with Gabriel. He looks like he's trying to help a friend.
Well,
this is helpful.
He was a former tag team partner, very short-lived, of Justin Gabriel.
Yeah, right before he got injured, they paired him together as a tag team, and they were very entertaining.
So they are friends.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So after this backstage segment, I believe we get Sasha and Charlotte in the locker room.
Yeah,
That's where
this is when it started going back and forth, skipping.
But Sasha says she doesn't like how Charlotte's been acting recently. She thinks her head's getting too big, and then mentions that Summer and Bayley are going to have a match next week for the #1 contendership for the NXT Women's title.
Championship paranoia.
Yeah.
This is what happens. When you're the person on top, you got everybody below you waiting with daggers. Sharpened daggers to get that title away from you.
Even those closest to you. I think Sasha should, honestly, I think Sasha should be in the match. I think that would help drive it home a little bit more. But it
still will be a great match.
It'll still be a great match.
Yeah.
And because we used to see this match a lot before
Yeah.
Summer got called up. And I like how Sasha said, Summer and I got along fine before you showed up. And it's like, yeah, they did.
They really did.
Charlotte ruined the BFFs.
She did. She's like the Yoko to the female Beatles. I don't know if that works.
Are they the female Beatles?
Are they?
I'll take it, whatever.
People like them in a way that you don't like things that you like.
What was that?
Give us one more. Take two.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
She's Catty
I'm gonna
Heron
not.
of Mean Girls.
There you go.
Right.
Summer's Regina George. Broke him up.
Sure.
We'll take that.
I'm here with you.
Okay.
I saw that movie.
Physically, not mentally.
So, CJ Parker has his match up next. Comes out with another sign, and this time it's the no Woods. It's
Yeah.
Somebody
like-
hands it to him.
Yeah.
It was weird because until the commentators said like Xavier Woods, but he's an environmentalist.
Yeah,
What-
didn't
what
really
does
get
he
it.
Like the
gets-
Woods?
If there's anybody he should tag team with, it's Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
But no, let's go against him.
Yeah.
Turn him into compost.
Well,
Mulch, not compost. Compost is garbage.
Mulch.
CJ has his first match in weeks.
Yeah.
And it's against NXT newbie debuter Steve Cutler, who they say is a former Marine.
Dude look good. Dude look swole.
Yeah. Do we know if this was a tryout or someone?
I heard it was an enhancement talent, so it's probably somebody that they recently signed.
Okay.
I don't know too much about
Yeah.
it, but
So CJ ends up winning fairly quickly with a back heel kick, and then after the match kicks Steve Cutler out of the ring.
I don't think we've ever seen a CJ Parker as aggressive as we did tonight.
He was so aggressive.
he held Cutler down and was shouting at him, "You're ruining the world just like them.
You're
And it was
ruining
just,
my world.
My world. Yes, that's right. My world.
That's the whole frame of mind of this new CJ Parker. He's very self-centered. In his saving of the world, it's all about him.
Yeah.
You're ruining this is my world. You're ruining it.
It of the world you ruin
Correct.
for me."
It's all about his.
Yes.
Yes.
And
His
then
trees,
he
his
just
fish.
Then he starts running.
birds.
Yes, there are birds. Starts running down Xavier Woods, which we finally get, and I guess he has everything that CJ Parker ever wanted, like the influence. I guess he's runs him down for not using his time to the best of his ability. Okay.
And his knowledge. I think the point CJ was trying to make, maybe not so perfectly, was that Woods should have all of the knowledge it takes to see what's happening to his world. His world is crumbling, and instead of doing something about it like an educated person would, Woods is ignoring it.
Yeah, he's just hanging out, dancing.
Right. And I think that's what really is driving this whole thing. Is CJ is telling Woods, you should see what's happening, you should know what's going on, you should be with me. And Woods just seems to be blind to it.
Yeah. Well, we will see where that storyline goes in the coming weeks, looks like. Tyson has a sit-down interview with Renee Young.
No questions are off limits.
No questions are off limits, although he can just walk away at the end of it.
Or just not answer.
Yes. So it's basically all about Natty and his losses recently and how he's handled things, how the fans are saying that he's a sore loser, and he's very political in all of this. He's giving all the right answers, but we as the audience don't really feel like he's 100% sincere with everything.
There's that twinge of just not necessarily unsure, but of...
He seems manipulative.
Yes, there's that separation of this is what I should say. This isn't what I want to say, but this is what I should say. He kept saying, oh well, my mind wasn't in there. I mean, my wife had just lost. Of course I wasn't focused on the match the whole time. And it seemed like it was just a lot of backhanded blaming Natty for things, though sounding like everything made sense. It was a very interesting interview, and I really do like how Tyson Kidd has been evolving over the past couple of weeks.
Like, he would say that, he's very glad that Natty showed him that, it was
His
bad
foot
to
was
have
on
a
the
chair.
ropes.
Yeah, and then, like, a couple things he pointed out that he got mad about then, but he's like, in hindsight, I was very happy that she did that. I
don't
was
wanna
just
win
trying to be a
like
good
that.
husband.
Yeah.
We've been together for 13 years, all this stuff. And then, although no questions were off limits, Renee asks about their marital problems, and Tyson just gets up and walks away. Scoffs.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. I mean, at one point he's sort of just, I'm married. This is what married people do. All those people out there who are mocking me don't know what being in a committed relationship is like. And that makes him sound like he's playing the part of a good husband, not that he's actually a good husband. all of these answers he's giving make it sound like he's in service to his wife. He's just doing her bidding. She sets things up and he just goes out there. She's in control is what it made it seem like. But I don't think he's willing to play this game much longer.
No, like he was saying, I appreciate what Natty was trying to do by setting up the tag team title match, but I just didn't want to win the titles that way.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You just said two just combative comments. Like that doesn't work.
Doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't add up, and you're just... It doesn't sound like you're talking out of your mouth, Tyson Kidd.
I'll tell you, a man who pushes his feelings that far down at some point will explode.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of
inevitable.
time. I mean, even if it's at his wife, at somebody, this man, if he does not come to grips with what he's actually feeling inside, will explode. And everybody is a target.
As we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, last match of the night, main event, Zayn versus Gabriel, accompanied by Tyson Kidd. Zayn ends up winning this match. Lots of great high-flying moments. Let's talk about what happened in the match first. Did you guys have any highlights?
There was this really mean neck breaker that Justin Gabriel did. It was kind of like Sheamus does White Noise, where he drapes the guy over his shoulder.
Toward the end of the match,
Yeah,
yes.
and he holds his head kind of behind them, and then he just brought it down on his leg, which just... It was like a combination of Sheamus's White Noise and Randy Orton's like behind the back neck breaker that he, or back breaker that he does. Looked real gross.
Yeah.
But safe. But gross.
Yeah, I mean,
But ultimately gross.
I mean, the brunt of the impact is on the back of your head, and all these stress points are in your neck, really. So it's sort of hyperextending the neck, if that's at all possible. It's just mean because there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There's just nowhere to go. It's just all that impact, and you see this stretch in an unnatural fashion, and it just makes you sort of sick to your stomach there for a minute.
Yeah.
Or it's gross. That's the Reader's Digest.
Well, I'm here for the color commentary as I add so much color.
My pen is in black,
Okay.
and the paper is white.
My mind is in rainbow. But during the match, we
yeah.
had a lot of back and forth, a lot of very clean back and forth. These two men looked almost even.
Yeah.
Just almost even. Gabriel actually looked like he had a bit of an edge.
I actually thought it was the other way around, that Zayn had more of an edge. Like, there were a couple moves that I thought Gabriel was done.
Yeah.
Like, he was just done.
There's something about Zayn, though, where anytime he's on the receiving end, he always
sells
feels like
everything.
he's just climbing
Yeah.
up the most impossible hill. And he's been losing a lot lately.
But that's why you get behind him.
Exactly.
Because
No,
he sells everything.
He's one of the most ultimate of underdogs, and he pulling a victory out tonight was awesome because, I mean, again, we haven't seen him win in a while,
Yeah.
but also the match with Gabriel was so back and forth and intense. Like, there's also Gabriel did a suplex and rolled it into like a modified front butterfly.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Into a
Impressive.
like a chicken wing stretch.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, chicken
it
wing.
was pretty really brutal. And it was just this match really says a lot about the status of both men. You see Zayn, hungry, he's young, he's a little bit faster than Gabriel. Gabriel has got that edge because he needs that edge to keep his place.
Yeah.
Especially after our most recent round of
Cuts.
yeah.
Yes.
talent cuts, future endeavoring. Yeah.
So, after the match, Kid kind of instigates this. Let's talk about how Gabriel and Kid attack Zayn, and then Neville is the one who comes out to Zayn's aid.
Not a surprise,
No.
really. These two guys have known each other a long time. Zayn
They
and
respect
Neville.
each other.
They respect each other, and one I think has the other's back if they're not going head to head. That is.
Even then, it seems like more of a match to kind of prove themselves to each other as opposed to I'm better, no, I'm better. It's more of a betterment of themselves. It was interesting to see that how much losing can take a toll on your mind as a competitor. We saw, I mean, we know where it is with Kid right now, but now he's drug another person down to his level with Justin
Yeah.
Gabriel. And we're going to see, hopefully, a pretty impressive tag team match in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting.
That'll be quite something. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Whether it's next week or the week after, one of the main events of the fourth night, so I guess the fourth show in 3 weeks. Either way.
We'll see.
There's a lot of good stuff. With the show being over, can we talk about Emma for a little bit?
If you would like, yes.
I think we should.
Former NXT talent. There
Okay.
was a bit of confusion.
Current, even. I mean, when was the last time we saw her on NXT?
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, there you
A few
go.
weeks ago.
She was released by the company for shoplifting.
For petty theft. I mean, okay, I'm a bit of an expert when it comes to petty theft laws. Don't ask why.
No.
California is a little bit looser. If it's something like Emma took, supposedly it was
An iPad?
iPad case, 20.
Oh, an iPad case. I thought
Yeah.
it was an iPad.
No, iPad case.
No.
Okay.
iPad case, $20 to $30. In the state of California, if you get pinched for that, the cops do not care. They do not care at all. They would have let her off basically with a warning.
Yeah.
But I looked up the laws in the state of Connecticut. They are far more strict.
Yeah.
They call it larceny in the 6th degree, and sentencing apparently is like 3 months jail time at least, and a fine. And that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. I know, but I mean, the question sort of comes in as to what exactly happened, how she concealed it, things like that. I know in the state of California, if you put an item in your pocket, that's not stealing. You have to leave the premises with it. But in the state of Ohio, if you put an item in your pocket, you've stolen it. That's the law. Now, it could be that they caught her.
Should have to have some big pockets.
I mean,
Or you- well,
or
you
his
put-
iPad Mini,
You put it under your sweatshirt. Trust me, I know
Yeah.
these things.
footy pocket.
It's really easy. I mean, if you
Yeah.
try. But the question is, was this purposeful? I heard a story where she didn't know that she hadn't paid for it, was using an electronic checkout, and put the item in the purchased pile and walked out. Security stopped her. If that's true, I can't imagine them calling the cops. I just can't.
But I also see, if they recognized her, they might have been like, oh, well, we want to.
Because then they could make probably a settlement.
Yeah.
Make some good money on a settlement. That's gross.
It's-
But she was
Regardless.
she was let go, and within an hour later, she was reinstated. And that,
They said that they're going to punish her, though.
yeah, I mean, they usually find Jack Swagger for his possession, and then Naomi.
Wasn't he under the influence as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
And Naomi tried to bribe a policeman for drunk driving, and they fined her as well. It was just really weird. Like it seemed like they were trying to look like a responsible company by letting this go, but they didn't. Then they were like, "Oh, it's not a big deal. Everybody's making crud. Okay, let's take it back." And I just feel so sorry for poor Emma. Just like within that hour, just like this is the worst week ever. And then,
Yeah.
hey, but she's back, and
I
hopefully
mean,
they don't keep her
if she
down.
did it, I think that
It would have been appropriate.
It would have been
But
appropriate.
if she
If she
didn't,
didn't-
No.
then-
The question is
yeah.
not if she did it, because she pled to it. She pled guilty to
Yes.
it for a reduced charge of 1 day community service. So that's not the question.
Yeah.
She did do it. She admitted to it. But the question is, does the punishment from the company
Fit the
fit
crime.
the crime that she committed, being
That's their
petty
judgment,
theft?
yeah.
It's petty theft.
it's
Come
their
on.
judgment. But
we'll see how the story develops.
we will see how the story develops. And overall, I think it was a great NXT minus our streaming
Yes.
problems.
Yes, it was a good show.
So, until next week, where can they find you guys?
I'm on the Twitter at TrueHobo, ProWrestlingTees.com/hobo, YouTube.com/SoapboxCarTV. I sound like a cattle auctioneers.
You do. If you want to find out what happened to the Pixel Pro Wrestling Champion, I mean, we want to know. But if you go to Soapbox Card TV and watch our most recent video, TNA Impact, not only will you suffer through terrible gameplay, but you will find out what happened. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/soapboxmark. What about you, Kathy?
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly. You can find all of us here on Twitter at AfterBuzzTV. Also, check us out on Instagram at AfterBuzzTV. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. Leave us a bunch of comments on the YouTube channel. And we will see you next Thursday.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.